Let the sun rise. Let the darkness set. Let the horizon sit still. Let What about me? Can I rise? Can I set? Can I be day or night? Or maybe I just am one with plain horizons, stillness. My name is Gabriella Bodner, and I move up and down, but I'm not the sun and I'm not the moon. And I have questions about these movements. And I think also the world has taught me to have these questions of how high can I shine, and how low can I set, and how frequently can I move between the up and the down? How free can I be? How loving can I be? How happy can I be? How sad can I be? And when? The sun has its seasons, just creating days and nights. And me, my seasons, they don't have a calendar. They don't have a specific time. They don't have a certain date. They just arrive. And I observe them. Just like I watch the sun when it rises or sets. Just like I watch the world when good things happen or bad things come. I hope to embrace these motions and see the beauty in them, to let them be, and not just try to erase my feelings, my movement, my way of living, I guess, my sensitivity. And when I write, or when I play music, or when I dance or paint, that's when I'm free. That's when I can be a sun or a moon or nothing at all. That's where I'm myself. And that's where I'm safe, without needing to hide what I am. I kind of wish I knew this a little earlier. I'm now 29. I went through a lot. I went through a lot of, how would I say this? Tough times, shitty times, miserable times, being both too down, too low, and too high. When I was 16, I was hospitalized because of depression. Back then, nobody knew to call it depression. It was a crisis. It was mainly a very, very lonely time. It's not even a time of no hope. It's more a time of nothing at all. Kind of like a black substance that was just surrounding me and creating nightmares. Some of them were happening when I was closing my eyes and trying to sleep and dream, and the main nightmare was the nightmare called life. So I was kind of moving between sleeping 14 hours a day or 16 hours to trying to live the rest of the hours of the day. For some reason, I was born with a lot of gifts, one can call it, also playing different instruments, such as piano, and nowadays I also play guitar and accordion and all sorts, and also I like to swim, and also I always would get very high grades in school, which made me feel very guilty of being so gifted, one can say. I skipped a grade, and my SATs, I got a very high score. And anyways, at the age of 16, I found myself almost like too smart for school, but then too socially awkward to have friends, to feel that I have friends. So my days ended up being very lonely and mad sometimes at the world and at how unfair it is to so many people, and how I can't control everything that happens and I can't change the world. I became very frustrated, and as time passed, this frustration became sadness. It's hard to want to change things and to realize that you can't. And it was the hardest for me when it was within my own family, and the difficulties between my mom and my dad and their arguments over decision making and money. And I was kind of in the middle of all of this, feeling both guilty and helpless. So as time passed, things became worse and worse, and I became more lonely and more socially afraid and more angry at my parents and mad at the world. So I started to walk in cemeteries. For some reason, I felt a peace of mind walking between the graves. And I would even, I even remember one time that I was like just lie down between graves and just kind of felt what it must feel like when one rests in peace. And I started to kind of look, kind of out of curiosity and also as a way to hurt myself. I started to look for kind of like dangerous adventures and tried drinking a bit of alcohol or smoking some cigarettes. Or one night I was very angry at my parents. I drove to Tel Aviv and I met a guy, and I'm very lucky that I ended that night alive, I would say. And there were more and more events that I was kind of taking risks and hoping that I won't survive. One time I was even, I went on a walk alone, and I walked on train tracks and just kind of hoping that the train will come. And a train came, and I was there until I chose to get off those tracks and kind of actively chose to stay alive. And then I kind of thought that, okay, that's it. I was this close to death that I'm not going to try it again, or things won't ever get worse. But they just kept on getting worse from the inside, and the guilt was eating me up. Kind of, that's what it felt like, and at the same time, this feeling that I'm helpless, and this feeling that I'm helpless, and this feeling that I'm unworthy of life, and that I have all these gifts, and why was I even been given all these gifts? So there were times that I would write, and I would kind of express myself through writing, and there were other times that I just could not write, and I could not play music, and I was just mainly sleeping. I did all sorts of things to hurt myself, and at some point, one of those things was that I stopped eating, just completely stopped, and I lost about 15 kilos within, I think it was a week and a half. Like, I think I ate only 2 small slices of cucumbers that whole week and a half. And I would lie a lot. That was also part of the thing. I would just say things that were completely not true. I was really on the edge. I had my eyes on a water tower not too far from my parents' house, and I had all these plans. I even one time took many pills, I think, I don't know, 40 or 50 at least, sleeping pills, and for some reason I just woke up. Many things, anyways. So from here to there, I went to a psychiatrist that my mom forced me to go to, and the psychiatrist told me of a place of more people that are like me, and that I can just kind of go and try it out. So that's what I did. I went to Tzfat. It was a hospital for adolescents. I was there for 3 months. During my time over there, I did my finals. I was in my junior year. I finished 11th grade, and I did all my finals over there, and I got very high grades. This was always very strange that I would get high grades in school, and at the same time, I would feel terrible on the inside. But I guess that's also a skill and a gift. So after 3 months over there in the hospital, I actually returned to my parents' home. At first, I was only at my mom's house. I was living there, and I actually went back to finish my final year of high school at school. And then the story kind of continues. I went to kind of this gap year program. I continued to the army. I was in the border watching unit, and like many Israelis, a day after I finished the army, I decided to go abroad. First, I was with my cousin, and then I was traveling alone, and we went to many places, to Mongolia and China and Laos and Cambodia, and then I was in the States, and then a whole 7 months in South America, Ecuador, Colombia, Cuba, Brazil, Paraguay. A very, very long trip. I ended it in Canada and Alaska, a cruise with my family. I had dreadlocks. I was a Rasta Gabi, yo. And I had a ukulele with me, which I would kind of sing and play as I was moving between places. And slowly I started feeling, or not slowly actually, I started feeling very, very good and very happy, and that everything is becoming one. This amazing sense of freedom and faith at the same time. After 2 years of army service and all of what that means, I could really kind of open my wings and fly. Also spiritually, and also, practically speaking, moving almost every day from one place to the other and meeting many people and experiencing many, many new things, and I felt good. So what can be bad about feeling so good? So during my travels, I even changed my name. My name was Light, because I wanted to be light, and that's what I became. And light has 2 meanings, of course. And I loved that name. In Spanish, you say luz, and I loved my name. It was very strange to come back home afterwards and to be again Gabi or Gabriella. But that's what I did. After 400 days that I traveled around the world, writing and playing music and meeting new people, I returned to Israel, and I started university, the Hebrew University, an excellence program of politics and philosophy and economics, kind of trying to understand the big world. And after all this time traveling, I felt it was a good opportunity to go back to the mainstream of this world and academic life and get a bachelor's degree, and it was kind of obvious that that's what was going to happen. So I started my degree, indeed, and during the time of my studies, I was living in Jerusalem was exposed also to Judaism and spirituality in a very high volume. And at the same time, there was the everyday life and the market, Shuk Machane Yehuda, which I love to go to. And just meeting many, many people along the way. It kind of did feel like it's a continuance of my travels. So I enjoy it, and I was blossoming over there. I was skipping along on the sidewalks, and I would hand people out just poems that I wrote, and I would compliment people just on the street. Or one woman on the bus, I saw her, and she seemed so beautiful, so I wrote a note, and I wrote her, "You are so beautiful." And just before I got off the bus, I gave her the note, and I told her goodbye, and I left the bus. And I would just do many small good things. I was very, very generous at this time.